citizens, not to intimidate them. You should use for innovation, and also look, the technology should not be used never to outsource compassion. And all the young officers over here, please think before you leave office every day, ask yourself one question. Did my work today make governance more humane, more just, or more responsive? If you literally see that if you say yes once in a week, we think that you are succeeding. If your answer is yes every day, exceptionally, you will become the exceptional officer for your state, for our nation, and you will be the proudest officer for our state, and you will be the greatest asset for the nation too. And in any part of anybody's profession, keep the habit of, from the day one of your schooling till now, you have been a student. Don't leave the passion to learn each every day. Try to learn something new in terms of your administration, sometimes in terms of, innovation in terms of your administration. Now, we all believe that because you are exceptionally bright young minds who are sitting here and with great grey matter. And, while concluding, I would like to say, when you look back on your career, your greatest achievement should not be by your designation which you have held, but with a quiet knowledge you served with honesty, integrity, and courage. And many officers keep coming up, going, and thousands of officers from All India Service or central services are coming down to the state services. Many people keep coming and going. What country or the state expects from you? Absolutely not absolute perfection, nobody expects. But we or from the nation expects your sincerity and devotion and commitment and compassion to the people. And I wish, with a career, with a clean hands, clear conscience, and as a courageous citizens. With these few words, I would like to conclude. I wish you all the best, good luck, and try to do great work for the country, great work for the states which you have been given to, and great work for your departments, and trying to earn a good name. Good name, not through your awards or through your ceremonial awards, good name among the people, and to be the best citizen of your governance. Thank you very much. I wish you good luck.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking remarks. Our chief guest, Shri Bhatti Vikramarka Mallu, sir, has expressed his desire to hear from the officer trainees their experience of the Special Foundation course. Is there anyone who would like to come forward and say a few lines? Welcome. Okay. I welcome Al Jamila on stage to say a few lines.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, faculties and dear OTs, we had an extremely good time in the last 2.5 months here. Though initially it felt a little bit of strictness from the classes, the rigorous biometric, the PT sessions, but I'm sure that we will go from here with a lot of memories. And I really like to appreciate the Institute for organizing an extremely good state village visit. We covered around 8 Indian states: Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Odisha. That's commendable to send 200 OTs to 8 Indian states. It requires commendable organization skills. And so is the case with the 8-day trek we had in Nilgiris. So all these had very good level of training. And as ma'am has already discussed about the different levels of field visits, the industry visit, the ISB visit, and also the activities organized by different clubs. We had the Officers Club, the Film and Fine Arts Club, the Mess Committee, as well as the Social Service Club. So all in all, the training was intended not just to be in an academic mode, but also in a mode which focused in a 360-degree personality development. And we are really grateful for this training, and we also cherish the friendship and moment we have had here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Al-Jamila. Now I invite Mr. Om Shukla to share his experiences.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected Deputy CM sir, respected Minister for IT and Electronics, respected ma'am. A very warm good morning good afternoon to all of you. My name is Om Shukla. I am from Indian Statistical Services, batch 2025. I would like to share some of my experience of this special foundation course. So when we came to this special foundation course, we were not aware like what outcomes we have to take from this special foundation course. In the very beginning of this, during the commencement of this special foundation course, when Director Sir from Labasna came and respected DG ma'am also addressed us, she told us that the main objective of this special foundation course is to build inter-service camaraderie. That after going from here, this foundation course, when we go to field and our respective offices, we have to integrate and work together within the ministries and between different ministries. So I think we all have achieved that particular goal to maximum of what we can. Despite the classes which were organized in the Dr. MCR HRD, they were very insightful, and we got to learn many hands-on experience and their own personal learnings from the very senior faculties and the officers of the All India Services. Despite this, we also visited, we had our village visit and the trek to the Nilgiris, which I think is one of the greatest experience in all of our will be throughout our life. So I think today we are at the end of our special foundation course, and I thank you all the faculty members, DG ma'am, and all the other service officers as well for cooperating us and building such a nice relation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Om Shukla. Now I invite our chief guest, Shri Bhatti Vikramarka Mallu sir, to address the officer trainees.
Honorable Minister for Industries and IT and Legislative Affairs also, Sri Sridhar Babu Garu, and Srimati Shanti Kumari Garu, Director Mari Chenna Reddy, Human Resource Development Institute. And dear trainee officers, distinguished faculty members and mentors, and ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and a warm welcome to all the participants of this meeting. It is a pleasure to be with you today as you conclude the special foundation course at the Dr. Marri Chenna Reddy Human Resource Development Institute. This ceremony marks the end of a demanding phase of training, but more importantly, it marks the beginning of a life defined by a responsibility, judgment, and public trust. Let me congratulate all of you, 203 officers drawn from multiple services, disciplines and states have completed this course. You come here as engineers, as our Sridhar Babu Garu said, you all have come from various disciplines like engineers, doctors, economists, lawyers, managers, technologists. You live with a shared identity that matters more than any qualification you carried in. You live as public servants. At this stage of life, without talent and credentials, many doors were open to you, but many of your peers choose comfort, speed, and predictability. You choose complexity, you choose accountability, you choose service. That is where you left your mark by choosing this service. That choice deserves respect, not because government service is nobly by default, but because it becomes noble and through the choice you make every single day. Today is not merely a celebration, it is a handover. From now on, files will have faces, numbers will carry names, displays will have consequences. A decision taken casually today may shape someone's life for years. Governance is not about grand intentions. It is about daily judgment under pressure sometimes, often without applause, sometimes without thanks also, and occasionally without complete information. And as many of you will soon discover, sometimes without reliable internet connectivity also. In this fast changing world, what I mean to say, and what must not change, you are entering public service at a moment of a rapid change. Technology is reshaping governance. Social media magnifies both achievement and error also. Global economic, climatic, geopolitical shocks arrive without even any small warning also. Citizens are more informed, more vocal, and far less patient and excuses. So you all have to be very, very cautious. You'll need to learn continuously, unlearn occasionally, and adapt constantly. But in this changing world, three things must remain constant: character, credibility, and compassion. These are not soft values. They are the hardest asset and an officer can build and the easiest to lose. Early in service, it is easy to make mistakes and authority for importance. Please remember this: you do not own power. You hold it in trust from the Constitution, from the law, and ultimately from the people. You are not placed above citizens. You are placed in between policy and reality, between the state and its most vulnerable citizen. Your success will not be measured by how many orders you issue, but how many lives quietly become easier because you were there. Why you are really here? You come from different states, different regions, and different backgrounds. Some of you come from Telangana and others from across the country. You represent different services and different disciplines. Yet there is one question that unites you, and one that your friends and families have almost certainly asked you by this time. Still, I also would like to ask you, at your age, with global opportunities available, why did you choose government service? You could have joined corporates to make money with all your qualifications, and you could have pursued fame or built private enterprises. Instead, you choose to work within the state to implement public programs and to serve citizens who may never know your name. That choice matters, it defines you. A simple moral campus when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became Prime Minister, he asked Mahatma Gandhi for an advice. Then Gandhiji said, whenever you are in doubt, think of the poorest and the weakest person you have seen. Ask yourself whether your decision will help that person. If it does, it is the right decision. That simple test has guided generations of public servants. It is still relevant today. Let me offer one candid observation. In public life, it is very easy to slowly drift, to become distant, to enjoy power more than responsibility, to forget sometimes unconsciously why you are joined service in the first place. Guard yourself against all these things. Always stay connected to ordinary people. Meet them with respect. Listen to them patiently. Remember that spending time with citizens is not a distraction from work. It is a purpose of work. Sitting in an air-conditioned office, cleaning files has its place, but it can never replace human contact. Dear officer trainees, you are very fortunate of coming to this institution and taking the foundation course under the directorship of our Shanti Kumariji as a director, and who designed the program and courses and made the offices available to teach you. I hope Shanti Kumariji also might have taken classes to you. And she is one of the finest officers where we have seen, with lots of passion, commitment of serving to the needy and poor people, where all she has worked. Can be in rural development, women development, or welfare activities, or even as Chief Secretary also. So that's the reason I'm telling you are all very fortunate enough to have, got trained, or at least got some classes from Director Shant Kumarji. And also, I congratulate you that you all got trained here, took the foundation course by taking the class from renowned personalities from various sectors and disciplines. You leave this campus with knowledge, confidence and promise. What you will need just next is judgment, humility and moral courage. The future of our institutions will be shaped not by speeches or policies alone, but by the everyday choices you make, often quietly, often without recognition, and often when no one is watching. Serve with integrity, decide with courage, lead with empathy. And if at the end of your career people remember you not just as an officer, but as a public servant who cared, then you will know that this profession was worth choosing. I wish each one of you careers that brings not only success but meaning. Thank you, and I wish you all the best where all you are going to be posted, going to be serving the society, and you will have a wonderful, bright future. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Your words have provided clear direction and perspective, and they will serve as a valuable guide for all of us as we begin our journey in public service. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed to a special and meaningful segment of today's program, the release of the House Journal, Prayan, brought out by the House Journal Club of the Officer Trainees. I invite the House Journal Club Secretary, Al-Jamila, and esteemed members, Ahana, Utkarsha, Ridul and Suryansh, to the stage to hand over the covered magazine to the Minister. May I humbly request the Honorable Chief Guests to graciously untie the cover and release the SFC House Journal, Prayan. Thank you, sirs. We shall now move on to the much-awaited announcement of award winners. I invite Dr. D.T. Chari, Co-Course Director, to kindly take the podium and announce the awards and the awardees.
May I now humbly request guests on the dais, esteemed DG Madam, to present the awardees to the votees. The President of India Medal for Best All-Round Performance, Ms. Nisha IES. The next award the Director General's Gold Medal for highest marks in academics. In this award we have 5 awards. The first award goes to Ms. Ritika Gupta, IES. It carries rolling shield and certificate as well as medal. The second consequent award goes to Mr. Kallam Srikanth Reddy, IRMS Accounts. Kallam Srikanth Reddy, come this way. Come on. Next, Mr. Tummala Manoj Kumar, IRMS Accounts. Tummala Manoj Kumar. Next one, Rinku Meena, IFS. Rinku Meena. Are you Rinku Meena? Next one, Mr. Devashish Jaina, IFS. The last one, Power Tushkar Deepak, IRMS Accounts. Come fast. Come fast, come fast, come this way. The next category of award, the Director General's top 5 gold medals for the highest marks in Director General Assessment, DG's assessment. The top one, Miss Nisha, IES. This carries medal, rolling shield and certificate. The same Director General DG's assessment. Okay. Nikhil Sharma, IRMS Accounts. Nikhil Sharma, IRMS. Congrats. Next, Mr. Lokesh Singh, IES. Lokesh. Next one, Miss Sneha, IRMS Accounts. Miss Poonam Rania, IRFMS, IRPFS. Then there is a special category award for Director General Gold Medal, highest marks in Management and Behavioral Sciences. It goes to Mr. Tummala Manoj Kumar, IRMS. This side, this side. Next category award, Director General's Award for Best Club. It goes to, guess, Officers Club. May I invite Mr. Rutvik Kote, IPS, and all the members of Officers Club. All the members of Officers Club, please. Wait. One. Okay. Separate. Five, all five. All five. Group. Group kada? The next award is Director General's Gold Medal for Best in Athletics, Mr. Rajesh. The next category award, Director General's Trophy for Best Actor in One Act Play, Mr. Nikhil Sharma, IRMS. Rajesh, Best Director General Gold Medal for Best Athletics. Next one, Nikhil Sharma. Best Actress. Best Actress. Next, Director General's Trophy for Best Actress in One Act Play goes to Miss Pooja Gawale. The next category, Director General's Gold Medal for Esprit de Corps Award, it goes to Mr. Rutvik Kote, IPS. The next category award, Director General's Award, Best Group Presentation on Field Immersion and ULB Visit. It goes to Group 14th. So restarted. Spell second. Vikram Joshi, Group Leader. Kuripeti Subhash. Shashi Ranjan Singh. Ajit. Best Group Presentations on Field Immersion and ULB Visit. Next category, Director General's Award for Best Group Presentation on Trek and Study Tour. Spell 1 Group 4th won this award. I invite Mr. Rajesh, Group Leader, and the team. Members, singles, 20 members ఒకటే పెద్ద గ్రూప్. ఇంకా రెండే ఉన్నాయి మేడం. ఇది ఇచ్చేసేయండి, వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చేసేయండి. ఇక ముందుకెళ్ళండి, పోయేటప్పుడు ఇచ్చేసింది. The next category award, the Director General's Gold Medal for Best Athlete Men, Naveen Chakravarti, IPS. The last and final award, Director General Gold Medal Best Athlete Woman goes to Miss Sneha. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. And heartiest congratulations to all the well-deserved awardees. On behalf of Dr. MCR HRDI Telangana, I extend our sincere and respectful gratitude to our honorable chief guests, Shri Bhatti Vikramarka Mallu, sir, and Shri Dudila Sridhar Babu, sir, for gracing this valedictory ceremony and for sharing words that will continue to guide us and inspire our officer trainees. We are deeply thankful to Srimati Shanti Kumari, IAS, Vice Chairperson and Director General, for her visionary leadership and constant encouragement throughout the course. Our heartfelt thanks to the course director, the co-course director, and the entire faculty whose dedication and academic rigor shaped this enriching program. We also acknowledge and appreciate the efforts of the committees and their members, and all those who work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the smooth conduct of the course and today's ceremony. Most importantly, we congratulate the officer trainees whose enthusiasm, discipline, and commitment have made this special foundation course a truly rewarding experience. We wish you the very best as you carry forward the values and learning gained here into public service. Thank you all for your gracious presence. May I request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem. Yes. Thank you. May I now request the Honorable Chief Guests, Director General, dignitaries, officer trainees, faculty and staff to kindly proceed to the Ramadasu Rangasthali lawn for a group photograph. Thank you.
If your home doesn't simplify your life, it's just a building. It starts with space that lets you live, grow, and breathe. Because your life isn't divided into parts. It moves, it shifts, it blends. A home that moves with you. Because a home should make space for you. So we designed a home that works beautifully. Because your life deserves that.
So we'll start by doing an MRI and the
MRI? वो तो महंगा होगा. एक्सरे ये है ना. अब हाथों पर.
प्राइवेट रूम नहीं चाहिए. इनको अकेले में डर लगता है.
फिजियोथेरेपी सेशंस. अपना जीपीटी है ना.
भाई क्या कर रहा है?
अरे इतना तामझाम कैसे करेंगे? और वैसे ही अपने ऑफिस इंश्योरेंस में इतना ही आता है ना यार.
When profit becomes the primary motive across the entire chain, safety checks could be compromised at every stage. This is grossly inadequate when measured against the potential long-term health, livelihood and environmental costs of any serious accident. Giving operational control of fissile and other highly radioactive substances to private entities significantly increases the possibility of nuclear incidents and accidents. The vision that once expanded horizons gives way to ambiguity. It completely neglects the serious, massive and irreversible risks from radioactive leaks, from mining to waste disposal, is neither clean nor sustainable. We must be honest with the people of India about what we are asking them to accept.
Dr. Sasi Tharoor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We stand here today at a critical juncture in our nation's history. This Shanti Bill is before this House has the government speaking grandly of harnessing the immense energy released by splitting the atom. Yet it seems to have failed to expend even a fraction of that energy in drafting a bill that is coherent, rigorous, and not full of loopholes. This is full of loopholes. Where the late Pandit Nehruji had laid the foundations for our nuclear program, and Dr. Manmohan Singh ji carried the Indo-US nuclear deal of 2008 across the last mile and lifted India out of isolation into an era of strategic confidence in nuclear power, this bill now confronts us with a disappointing reversal, as a vision that once expanded horizons gives way to ambiguity, deepens uncertainty as to whether and where India's nuclear power framework is really headed. I have high regard for the Honourable Minister who is here today, but there are serious errors and omissions that other speakers have already pointed out. We have mastered nuclear fusion and fission, but not apparently legislative precision. The Shanti Bill is a milestone, Mr. Minister, but for the wrong reasons. It is written with exceptions, heavy on discretion, and largely indifferent to public welfare. I am not sure, Mr. Chairman, whether it is a nuclear bill or an unclear bill. Now, before I outline my concerns, I must candidly state that the bill in its current form contains such fundamental structural flaws, as colleagues have pointed out, that it requires comprehensive reworking rather than cosmetic amendments. Ideally, it should have been referred to a committee, a standing committee or a joint parliamentary committee for further consideration. But if we are going to discuss it today, sir, let me enumerate my critical concerns. The very preamble of the bill, which I have here, characterizes nuclear energy as a, quote, clean and abundant source for electricity and hydrogen production. No quarrel there, and I'm not against nuclear energy myself. But this language is dangerously misleading because it completely neglects the serious, massive and irreversible risks from radioactive leaks, long-lived nuclear waste that remains hazardous for millennia, and of course the potential for catastrophic accidents. Moreover, India's usable uranium reserves are finite. While we do possess significant thorium-232, including in my own state of Kerala, and those are significant reserves, and we should work on them, nonetheless, thorium-based reactors remain decades away from significant deployment. The full life cycle of nuclear fuel, from mining to waste disposal, is neither clean nor sustainable. We must be honest with the people of India about what we are asking them to accept. Now, sir, Section 3(1)(c) and E provide that any other company or any person explicitly permitted by the central government is eligible to apply for a license to set up and run nuclear facilities. This effectively amounts to a blanket opening up of the entire nuclear energy sector, from mining to waste management, and this will open it up to a wide range of private actors with indeterminable and indeterminate qualifications. More troubling still, the bill allows for a single composite license for multiple activities across the nuclear fuel cycle. This means one entity could control mining, fuel fabrication, reactor operation, and waste handling. Such concentration of control in any single operator or corporate group heightens systemic risk exponentially rather than containing that risk. When profit becomes the primary motive across the entire chain, safety checks could be compromised at every stage. Such blanket opening up is potentially dangerous, and giving operational control of fissile and other highly radioactive substances to private entities driven by quarterly earnings reports and the bottom line of profit, I'm afraid significantly increases the possibility of nuclear incidents and accidents. The core of the liability reform caps total nuclear incident liability at 300 million special drawing rights, which is approximately today $460 million or 3,900 crores. Let this sink in, honourable members. This cap has not changed in 15 years, despite inflation, despite Fukushima, despite everything we've learned. For context, the Fukushima disaster cleanup costs have already exceeded $182 billion. Okay? That's several hundred times the cap proposed in this bill today in 2021. Chernobyl's total economic impact exceeded $700 billion. Yet we propose to cap liability at less than $500 million? This is grossly inadequate when measured against the potential long-term health, livelihood and environmental costs of any serious accident. This is not a safety net, Mr. Minister. It is a trapdoor through which victims could fall into decades of legal battles and inadequate compensation. The bill also removes the earlier provisions where the operator had the right to recover compensation from equipment suppliers. This means that even if an accident occurs due to faulty design, substandard parts, or negligent manufacturing by a supplier, that supplier walks away while Indian taxpayers have to bear the entire cost. This might, in cases of serious accidents, strain our economy significantly. We are effectively subsidizing the risk for private international corporations while they retain all their profits. The state underwrites catastrophic risk, Mr. Chairman, while private operators maximize returns. What kind of law is this? Chapter 3, Section 14(1)(a) makes the central government liable where the liability exceeds the amount of liability of an operator. In effect, public funds, our money, taxpayers' money, will compensate for all the damages caused by private facilities. This provision does nothing but further dilute corporate accountability for systemic failures. And Section 42 overrides the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code for nuclear facilities. So nuclear workers are removed from our country's general labour safety framework. Is this fair, Mr. Minister? The bill imposes a 3-year period for filing compensation applications, with extension of the right to claim set for 10 years for property damage, 20 years for personal injury. Now, given the long latency periods of radiation-related diseases, cancers can appear 20, 30 years after exposure, and intergenerational genetic impacts, these limitation periods are, frankly, shamefully restrictive. They will exclude many genuine victims who develop serious health impacts only after years of exposure. Children exposed to radiation who develop leukemia at the age of 25 will find they have no legal recourse. This is not justice, Mr. Chairman. This is a statute of limitations designed to limit liability, not to compensate victims. इस बिल के हर वादे के पीछे एक कीमत छुपी है, Mr. Minister. और अक्सर ये कीमत वही चुकाता है जिसका फैसलों में कोई हिस्सा नहीं होता। पर उन वादों की कीमत तुम क्या जानो सरकार, यही मेरी चिंता है। Here perhaps is the most egregious provision of all. Negligence by an operator or person is recognized as a cognizable offence, but only a person duly authorized by the central government or the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board can file a complaint. Let me stress this, sir. This means that if a nuclear facility operator is criminally negligent, affected communities cannot file a complaint. Civil society organizations cannot file a complaint. Even state governments cannot directly initiate criminal proceedings against the operator. This effectively excludes those most affected from seeking justice and concentrates gatekeeping power with the very institutions that have failed in prior oversight. By limiting judicial recourse and routing both civil and criminal actions. No, sir, I'm barely halfway through.
You have taken 10 minutes.
No, sir, I have been given enough time. You give me 5 minutes more. And criminal actions through central authorities, the bill restricts victims' access to ordinary courts and their fundamental right to seek effective remedies. For an ultra-hazardous activity that can devastate entire regions, such procedural barriers perpetuate a culture of impunity. Then Chapter 4, sir, on the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, essentially retains a regulator controlled by the central government, the same government aggressively promoting nuclear expansion, and its agencies, rather than creating a truly independent, multi-stakeholder authority that will be insulated from political and corporate influence. Sir, I can go ideally into clause-by-clause detail, but since you've already told me my time is running out, let me just sum up very simply. The entire regulatory arrangement is an inside job with little or no room for Indian civil society or even meaningful parliamentary oversight. Instead of clearing the fog around nuclear regulation, this arrangement thickens the fog. So Chapter 6, Section 44, grants perhaps the most dangerous power in the entire bill, as it highlights the excessive executive discretion and exemptions of this bill. It allows the central government to exempt any plant from the requirements of license or liability if, quote, the risk involved is insignificant, unquote. The term insignificant risk is not defined anywhere. It's left entirely to the executive. This provision essentially negates the entire framework of the bill, sir. It creates a backdoor through which any facility can escape oversight if the government deems it convenient.
Your point is
sir, give me 3 minutes. This kind of broad subjective exemption power undermines the very safeguards the legislation claims to establish. It will provide laxity in due diligence in a hugely critical sector. And private players will lobby for exemptions to engage in profiteering at the expense of public safety. We cannot justify this under any democratic framework. Multiple sections are granting sweeping powers on vague grounds. The bill lacks enforceable public participation mechanisms, no mandatory public hearings before licensing, no environmental impact assessment disclosure periods, no community consent mechanisms, no regular public reporting of safety inspections or radiation monitoring, no mandatory tabling in Parliament.
Kunalji, you have given 7 names.
Sir,
from your party, you have given 7 names. That's why I am requesting.
I'll conclude in 2.5 3 minutes. Sir, मैं जो डिटेल बोल रहा हूँ सर सब कुछ जानना चाहिए ये तो रिकॉर्ड में आना चाहिए सर
But 7
and finally sir, no mandatory tabling in Parliament of incident reports, internal or independent inquiry findings and periodic safety reviews. In other words, you're excluding the very people whose lives and livelihoods are at stake. And the past controversies referred to by other speakers at Jaitapur, Kuramkolam, Gorakhpur demonstrate what happens when communities feel excluded from decisions affecting their safety. This bill risks repeating those conflicts, undermining capacity expansion targets through local resistance and litigation. 2 more points, sir. Section 34B requires licenses, 35B, I beg your pardon, reserves spent fuel management for the central government, but again provides minimal implementation detail. When multiple private operators are generating significant spent fuel, unclear protocols will create operational uncertainty. The bill also lacks climate change provisions despite rising sea levels, extreme weather and water scarcity.
Thank you very much.
And post-Fukushima, sir, Japan comprehensively revised site selection for climate resilience. Our bill remains silent on that. I'll skip my other points. Let me give you Let me conclude, sir. Give me 1 minute to conclude. So I've taken up more than a minute in pleading for time. Give me time.
There are 7 members of parliament from Congress party.
I'm skipping half my point, sir.
There is a time constraint. Please kindly conclude. Please kindly conclude.
Sir, beyond safety, okay, I won't talk about safety anymore, sir. Fundamental questions arise about economic wisdom of this bill. Nuclear projects are highly capital intensive with long gestation periods. In an era of rapidly falling renewable costs, battery storage costs, we must ask, does 19.3 trillion rupees towards nuclear represent optimal allocation versus accelerated renewable deployment, grid modernization or energy sufficiency? The opportunity cost must be gone into, sir. The Shanti bill represents a dangerous leap into privatized nuclear.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। मैं एटॉमिक एनर्जी बिल 2025 शक्ति बिल के
We cannot allow the pursuit of capital to override the non-negotiable requirements of public safety, environmental protection and victim justice. The name Shanti means peace, sustainability. Let us ensure that this name is not a cruel irony in the aftermath of a preventable disaster.
I think so.
The promise of transforming India ought not to conflate the risk of scarring India.
Mr. Abdullah, it's a privilege and a pleasure to share the stage with you. Welcome to the Adda.
Thank you.
So, I was preparing for this conversation in the morning, and I looked up the AQI in Srinagar. Srinagar this morning was 145. Delhi was 350. But in the past week, Srinagar has actually hovered close to, sections of Srinagar have gone up to 300. So when you come from Srinagar to Delhi, where do you breathe easier, both literally and politically?
Okay. Politically, I breathe easier in Srinagar. These days, the sky seems to be bluer in Delhi. But we're hoping to have a course correction this weekend. We've had a very long dry spell, and because of the geography of, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, but essentially because of the geography of the valley, there is nowhere for this pollution to flow out. So unless it rains and settles, it basically hovers over us. You had a calculation of 300 and something?
350 in the morning was Delhi, and 145 is Srinagar.
Well, the other day I stepped out of my house with one of those portable things, and it was 480 something.
Wow, in Srinagar?
So we've had, had a really bad spell.
So in October, you completed 1 year of your government. Before we get down to, there were lots of assessments and some of them very hectoring ones. But before we get to those, I just wanted to ask you, does it come off easier on your tongue now to say that you are Chief Minister of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir?
No. I find it very difficult to use the words Union Territory and Jammu and Kashmir in the same sentence.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything, I hate being reminded that we are a Union Territory. And I don't know why people feel the need to constantly, and this is true even for officers in the Jammu and Kashmir government, they will often introduce themselves or me or others as belonging to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And I don't remember ever being introduced as the Chief Minister of the state of Jammu and Kashmir when I was.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't introduced as the Chief Minister of the state of Jammu and Kashmir then, why should I be introduced as the Chief Minister of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir? Unless you're trying to sort of drill it into us that we're a Union Territory. So no, it's very, very difficult to get the words Union Territory and Jammu and Kashmir in the same sentence.
You're the only person, I think, who's been Chief Minister of the state and then in the same place of the Union Territory.
Yeah, I have the misfortune of having this unique distinction in this country. Not only was I Chief Minister of a state, I was Chief Minister of a state that was different from all the others. We had the most empowered assembly. We had our own constitution, we had our own flag, and from there to now be Chief Minister of a union territory with far less powers than any other state Chief Minister would have is very difficult to reconcile oneself to.
Mr. Abdullah, there's a constant comparison being drawn between your government, and the situation with the LG and what Kejriwal's erstwhile government here in Delhi was. But the stark difference is that in your case, you have been a chief minister of a full state, and Mr. Kejriwal just had to contend with a powerful LG from day one. But, the other difference, the very big difference is that Mr. Kejriwal got into this whole power sharing arrangement with a very antagonistic approach, or at least a confrontational approach. You didn't. Yours was much more conciliatory. You've drawn lots of criticism for it as well. But what I want to ask you is, did the change of approach lead to a different outcome 1 year later? Or is it the same kind of, attrition?
Well, in terms of the relationship between the government of Jammu and Kashmir and the government of India, other than a couple of major issues on which obviously we haven't made as much progress as I would have liked, particularly on the restoration of statehood and pending that our business rules being approved, government of India has been sort of well disposed towards the government of Jammu and Kashmir and towards Jammu and Kashmir. So no complaints there. Unfortunately, the same has not been true in terms of our working relationship with the Lieutenant Governor. In spite of the fact that he has on numerous occasions publicly said that he is only responsible for security and law and order and everything else is the domain of the elected government, that has not translated on the ground. I can name institutions that should ordinarily have transferred to the elected government that haven't so far.
Can you give us some examples of things that you wanted to do but couldn't?
Well, the J&K Power Development Corporation. I am the power minister. It's a corporation that is part of the ministry, but the Lieutenant Governor is the chairman of that corporation. Shouldn't be. I was chairman of that corporation when I was chief minister. We have two universities, Jammu and Kashmir. I'll call them state universities, Baba Ghulam Shah Badshah and Islamic University of Science and Technology. The statutes of those universities meant that the chief minister was chancellor. After the elections, these universities should have transferred to the elected government. They haven't. He continues to be chancellor of those two universities. The Cultural Academy, he is chairman of the Cultural Academy, even though the culture department is with the elected government. The Director of Information, he has appointed an IAS officer, even though the post is a JKAS, J&K Administrative Services, cadre post. But to deny us sort of control over the information department, he has put his own person in there. And most recently and surprisingly, I am the tourism minister. Now, the tourism development authorities in various places should either be headed by me or somebody nominated by me. But he continues to hold on even to tourism development authorities. He's called a meeting of the Gulmarg Tourism Development Authority on the 21st of December. Now, please tell me, somebody who says he is only responsible for security and law and order, what business does he have holding a tourism development authority? It is essentially interfering in the role of the elected government.
But you just seem to make a distinction between your equation with this government at the center and your equation with the LG. Does that distinction hold, given that the LG is actually the appointee of the center?
Well, to the extent that he's doing this with their concurrence, that is a worry. But I'm drawing the distinction because in most other respects, the government of India has actually been very has conducted itself in a way in which they've left me with very, limited scope to complain. We are an economically disadvantaged part of the country. We don't earn as much as we spend on governance. Now, it would be very easy for the government of India to bring my government to its knees. All they had to do was choke us of funds at the end of the year. But they actually did the opposite of that. They gave more money to my government at the end of last year than was actually part of the budget. And I have every hope and expectation that the same thing will be done this year as well. There was a scheme that post-COVID Government of India announced called the Special Assistance Scheme for Capital Expenditure for States. It wasn't made applicable to union territories. Now, this was a scheme, or is a scheme, whereby you get money as an interest-free loan repayable after 50 years. So essentially, it's free money for states to spend on capital investment. This wasn't available to us as a union territory. But because I asked for it, and they saw the logic of what we were asking for, they extended it to Jammu and Kashmir and then other union territories as well. So my point is that they could have been difficult with us. They could have been more difficult with us, but they haven't been. But these ticklish issues that I've pointed out, they do remain.
But in the end, these are the smaller issues. The big issue is statehood. And on that, they've kept you hanging, haven't they?
As I said, that's why I said that on the main issue of statehood, that has been, I mean, it's a matter of disappointment. We keep being told that at the appropriate time, but nobody tells us how they will assess what the appropriate time is. I mean, tell us what the goalpost is. Tell us what we have to do to bring Jammu and Kashmir to the point where you can say that, yes, this is the appropriate time.